Welcome to the 111 Approach podcast, your go-to space for deep thoughts, real talk, and exploration of everything from spirituality to self-development and the mysteries of life with some light-hearted humour along the way. I'm your host, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer, and each episode will dive into different topics, sometimes personal, sometimes thought-provoking, but always authentic. So whether you're here for some new perspectives, inspiration, or just a fresh take on the world with a bit of randomness thrown into the mix, you're definitely in the right place. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the 111 Approach podcast. I always start with a thank you. So thank you so much for being here. I don't know if I mentioned it in my first episode, but I always have a rule of 3. I give things 3 chances. So if I start watching a new show or listening to a podcast, for example, or I'm trying a new food or drink, anything really, I always give it 3 chances. And if by the 3rd chance or episode I'm not taken by it, then I suck it off. So here's me hoping that you're enjoying this show enough that you make it past episode 3, which is why I've made episode 4 a very special one. So you stick around. I'm clever like that. So for this episode, I wanted to talk about something a lot of people know about, but don't feel like it gets talked about too much until people become really famous. And then they sit in their interviews and they say, oh yeah, I have massive imposter syndrome. I don't think I'm good enough, etc., etc. And then we look at them from our screens and think, well, how is that possible? They've made it. They're super successful. So how can they suffer with imposter syndrome? Well, I've got news for you. Most people who are high achievers and massively successful are the main ones who actually suffer with imposter syndrome. But we all have imposter syndrome in some way, shape, or form. Every single client I have seen, and I have seen hundreds of clients in my decade of doing intuitive energy healing and wellness coaching, they all have blocks and issues with that little internal voice telling them that they are not good enough, or that they are a hypocrite, or they might fail, or look fake, like a fraud, etc., etc., etc. And trust me, I've worked with some pretty high-profile clients, so we all have it at some point, myself included. Especially when I was trying to start this podcast, I was like, who's going to want to listen to me? And do I have even anything of value to say and share? So what exactly is imposter syndrome? It's a feeling of self-doubt and inadequacy that persists and persists and persists despite how much we achieve, despite how much success we gain. And people with imposter syndrome sometimes feel like they don't deserve their achievements, and they think that they're tricking others into thinking that they're actually way better than they actually are. They compare themselves to other people, and so when they see other people in their industry doing things or being perceived to be more successful, they feel like they are not as good as them and they don't measure up, so they must be failing in some way, shape, or form. And this can obviously then lead to them feeling inferior and that their own accomplishments are not as significant. And as I say this, my little voice in my head is saying, yes, that's you, because I do that. It also comes from childhood. Doesn't bloody everything come from childhood now? If you, as a kid, were not praised or recognized enough, you could develop this belief that no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you earn or achieve in your life, it's still not good enough. People with imposter syndrome don't take credit for their work. So if you can compliment them on their work and praise them, they'll say, oh, actually, no, somebody else helped me, or it was because I had this advantage, or, they'll make excuses for why they've got the success. Now, it doesn't always have to relate to work, because you can have imposter syndrome for any area of your life, and a lot of new parents actually suffer with this as well. I was doing a bit of research, and according to Dr. Valerie Young of the Imposter Syndrome Institute, yes, your girl did a bit of research on this, there are actually 5 types of imposter traits. So there's the perfectionist, the superhero, the expert, the natural genius, and the soloist. Now, you could be one of these traits, or you could be a combination of some or even all of them. So I'll just quickly skim over the 5 different types of the imposter traits. One of the main ones and more common ones is the perfectionist trait. Perfectionists strive for perfection in everything they do. They set ridiculously high expectations of themselves, and then if they make a mistake, no matter how small it is, it feels like the end of the world for them, or they'll beat themselves up. It'll feel like a failure. It creates a lot of shame for them, and you will find that they procrastinate a lot because there's a fear of failure. I can definitely relate to that. There's the superhero trait, trying to juggle lots of different things, take on lots of different roles, and be really perfect and exceptional in all of those roles. And when they don't, in one area they lack, they do create a lot of shame and guilt for themselves. Then there is the expert trait. So these types of people feel like they never have enough credentials or qualifications. So they are always in a constant need of, I need to do another course, I need to do another workshop, and I should learn this and I should learn that. So they're always looking to further prove to themselves or to the world that they are qualified in their area of expertise or in their industry. But this again can lead to them just continually learning things without actually then putting it into practice. The other one was natural geniuses. So these types of imposter syndrome traits are when they put a lot of expectation on themselves to get things right the first time. They expect that on the first try that they should be able to be perfect at it. And when they are not, then they feel a lot of shame again. So can you see a running theme here? Shame. They don't like to have to repeat tasks or repeat things because they expect themselves to be an expert on the first try. They tend to try to do things quite quickly and get things done fast. And then the last one is soloists, and they feel that they have to do everything themselves. They feel that accepting help is a sign of failure or that they are not good enough to do it themselves. So can you see yourself in any one of these 5 traits? And if you're struggling to find out where you fit into those 5 traits, there's a few questions you can ask yourself. Number 1, do you agonize over the smallest of mistakes in your work? So, if you did a typo on one of your Instagram posts or the grammar's incorrect, does that sit with you for days upon end and you think, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? I used to be like this. I'm trying to get better at it, I'll be honest. I'm a stickler for spelling and grammar, but I'm trying to learn to let go of the perfection side, because in truth, there's no such thing as perfection. And on the other side, everything is in perfect order anyway. So another episode on that will be coming. Don't worry. Number 2, do you attribute your successes to outside factors like other people's help, or it was just good luck and you don't actually take credit for the work and the accomplishments that you've done? Number 3, are you quite sensitive when people give you constructive criticism or some feedback? Because then that would be an indicator that you are one of the traits that need to get it right the first time. And number 4, do you feel like at any point somebody's going to figure out that you don't really know what you're doing and you're not as good as you're making out to be? So that kind of fraud mentality, or fake or phony. And as I said that, this was playing in my head from Greece when Sandy finds out about Danny and she's like, you're a fake and a phony and I wish I never laid eyes on you. That was like the worst American accent, but you catch my drift. This is what happens in my head, and you wanted to be here to find out what was happening in my head, so bear with me. And lastly, do you downplay your own skills and expertise even when you know you are genuinely more advanced than others, but you still downplay it? You're like, no, I'm not that great. So from those, you can work out which one of those or a few of those that kind of resonate with you. Now, I wanted to let you know, a lot of the negative self-talk comes from my mind, but from an energetic point of view, and obviously I'm an intuitive Reiki energy healer, so I always go with where the energy lies in our body. Our imposter syndrome culprit lives actually in the chest area. The energy center known as the solar plexus is located in the rib cage, and this is where your feelings of like self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, those feelings of whether you deserve things or not, your inner critic, this is where it's all held on an energy side of things. And newsflash, we all have some energetic blocks here. Now, most of my work with my clients is to help them remove this deep-rooted, stuck or blocked energy that's held in this area of the body. And once I'm able to do that with the incredible power of intuitive energy healing that I do, those feelings of not feeling worthy or deserving, or those imposter syndrome traits tend to diminish because the energy is now flowing there unrestricted. And through the intuitive Reiki and energy work, you actually do become more aligned with your true self and not your ego self. So you become more connected with your energy within your body and come out of your head, which is your head is the one that tells you all your limiting beliefs and all these negative talk that doesn't serve you. So the more work you do on yourself and become connected with your own energy within, you find yourself not getting affected by these issues and intrusive thoughts. So we'll definitely be delving deeper into this topic as we go on with this show, because every single client, like I said, has had some form of imposter syndrome. Even a supermodel who is absolutely drop dead, stunningly gorgeous. Her face is on billboards around the world. And yet when I did a distance intuitive Reiki session for her over a video call, I think she was like in Thailand for a photo shoot or something, I picked up on her blocks and her energy, and I could sense there was so much sadness. And I was like, this makes no sense. And there was like unworthiness, and I could just feel this block in this area. And she then admitted afterwards, when we were discussing her session, that she suffers with feelings of being a fraud and not being pretty enough to be a bigger name as she is. And it just totally baffled me. And it also showed me that we all have work to do to help heal and accept and love ourselves, no matter what we look like and no matter how successful we become in the eyes of others. And it's really in your own eyes that matter. And that's okay. It actually also highlighted the immense pressure and insecurities we women undergo due to the insane standards set by society. But I'll save that topic for another day. So now let's finish up with a 1-minute healing meditation as always. So if it is safe to do so for you, please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth. Now place your hand on your solar plexus, just under your rib cage, and breathe into this space and imagine or visualize yellow light energy swirling around in this area. Now don't worry if you can't see or feel anything. I'm going to be guiding and doing this for you now, but I just want you to stay connected there and try and see if you can increase the intensity of this yellow energy and light within you. And now I want you to say to yourself, I am able to feel worthy. I am able to feel deserving. I am able to feel confident. And you may even feel some warmth, energy coming through. And just take a deep breath in, hold, and then release out. And open your eyes. Now, how does that feel for you all? Do reach out and let me know in the comments. And as always, please do take a minute to download, rate, and review and share this episode. Share it wherever you like, socials, WhatsApp, whatever. It really does help me to reach more people so I can help more people overcome things like imposter syndrome, because we all need a little help now and again. So as always, ending on gratitude, thank you so much for being here. I've got a very special episode for the next installment, so make sure you do stick around, and I'll see you then. Sending you love, light, and blessings.